So we're ready. Here we go. Okay, awesome. Good evening, everybody. I'm Renato Tekashini. I run a digital marketing agency called Barrel Group. Double Barrel is a division of. And tonight we're going to talk about how to leverage AI for personalization. So I'm assuming everybody's got a business here. I'm assuming everybody's trying to do their own marketing and finding it quite challenging. So tonight I'm going to try and show you how to use AI to give yourself some time back. Can you hear me at the back? Am I talking loud enough? Okay, so obviously AI is transforming everything for everybody these days. It has its place, but there's a strong use case for us in personalization when it comes to marketing. And that's reaching the right customer at the right time with the right messages. So I'm going to try and delve into that tonight. Got a little bit of a workshop we're going to do a little bit later. See if you understand what I'm saying. I'm happy if you guys put up your hand and ask questions, so please be interactive. So I want you to think about this. If you're driving down the highway and you're seeing an arbitrary billboard, will you remember it tomorrow? Versus one of your really good friends saying to you, hey, have you heard about this restaurant? I think you'll really enjoy it. And which one's going to stick with you a bit longer? So,
restaurant.
Exactly. So this being the one-on-one touch with digital marketing is also a big thing. I mean, if you're talking to your customers at the right time, with the right message, that's now moving on to digital rather than just being your friend. You have to transfer that message and that interaction to your customers online. I'm flying through this. So, personalization is no longer, it's not a fancy buzzword. It's a data-driven vehicle that has proven results. So we all collect data from our customers, be it an email address or a phone number, or if we're tracking them on the website and seeing how they're moving around. If we understand that and use that data to your benefit, your customers, and you're speaking to your customers at the right time, and they believe that you understand them, you know what they want, when they want it, they become brand loyal. They'll stick around. They're going to spend their money with you because you understand them, and this is what customers want these days. So let's face it. I mean, we're all small businesses. We don't have a lot of time to do stuff. We don't have a lot of time to dig into the data and understand what it does. This is where AI comes in, and it allows you to take that Google Analytics dump and stick it into ChatGPT, if you like, and tell it, I'm looking for the following. It's going to look through all that data a lot quicker than we can and find all the nuances and find the potential gaps and find out where you're potentially doing something differently or show you how to do it correctly. So it can read that data. It will give you a whole lot of time back. So AI is great. You've got to use it, and it helps you create those ads, the Google ads, or the right post on social media at the right time, and talk to your customers. It help you segment your customers with the data that you feed. If you don't have the data, there's other ways that you can kind of create the data on the customers you want to meet, the customers you want to talk to. This will help you. It will help you create all kinds of things, beautiful things. So, as you can see from the slide, I've got some data points I'm going to read out here now, but big companies are using it all the time. I mean, I'm sure we all watch Netflix. So, used to, or any streaming service today. When you open your page and you go to your profile, it says to you, have you seen this? This looks good, or we recommend this, or this is good for binge watching, or whatever. But it's all the kind of stuff that you like to watch. If I go on my profile, it's also all about sci-fi and action and that kind of thing. If I go into my wife's profile, it's all about love stories and drama and
Listening to me.
Yeah. So Netflix, attributes like 30% increase in viewing time from the AI services that they offer. So when they say to you, check this out, studies show that using AI and personalizing your data gives you an up to 30% click-through rate, better click-through rate. It helps boost conversion rates for like up to 15%. So this is quite interesting. We've all had Starbucks, right? So Starbucks' royalty program has, with AI personalization and giving, telling people, buy this, this is the promo, this is whatever's happening today, come in. They've seen a 47% increase on member spend alone. So it helps. So it's revolutionizing. Use it. It's there to help. It's there to help save you time. That's AI. Can you ask him? I'm staying there. So how does it work? I mean, like I said
It's so
earlier.
the face of AI right there.
Yeah. Evil. So basically, I mean, we all can gather customer data, as I said earlier. We're collecting data on how people, move around our website, how people are buying things on our website, how they're reading our emails, if they're reading our emails, on our social media. I've got some information. Actually, on that note, there's some handouts that will get mailed out later, and there's a section on that exactly. GDPR copying. There is you need to be cognizant of it. And nowadays, I mean, on a website, for example, if somebody's buying from you, there should be a tick box on there saying, we are going to use your data. And you should have a terms and conditions page that explains how you use it. And they need to tick and accept it. They're giving you your data. If you connect to somebody on LinkedIn, for example, or any social media platform that have allowed you to connect, they're giving you permission to use their data. So you can't cut it. You just can't share that data with other people. You can't go and sell it. So, okay, we gave them this information. We've all got it. They'll help you take it, read it, and put it to its best use. It helps you segment your audience. So if you've got people that like pink tackies and somebody else that likes blue sweatshirts, I mean, you're not going to sell this. You're going to sell differently to each one of those. You're going to sell differently to a male. You're going to sell differently to a female. You're going to sell differently to teenagers. So it'll help you segment it and create the messages for that segment using AI. Start small. I mean, like I said, if you don't have the data and you want to start on your own before you've got a website and you want to speak to people on social media, create your own buying personas and then see how that works for you. And you know what a buying persona is? So who are you targeting? How old are they? What are they like? I'm sure we've all done some form of sales in our life, and we've all been to somebody else's office. And when you walk into a customer's office and you're sitting there at the desk, you generally look around. It's like, what have they got? What pictures have they got on the wall? What kind of sport do they have? Do they have any trophies? How do they sit their desk? Is everything like perfect? Is it all a mess? All those are all things that you take to kind of shape how you have the meeting and what you can say to that person, or try and get to their level and be personalized. A personalized meet. You do the same thing on paper. So we're going to do a little exercise in a little bit that kind of starts that process. Like, who are you aiming at? What is the age group? Where are they based? What are their buying habits? What are you expecting to sell to them? How do you want to sell to them? What channels do they use? So you use all that information to create a buying persona. With the help of AI, it will help you create that thing for you. And once you've got that buying persona, you can use, I've shown you how to use it. How to create a targeted message for that buying persona specifically. I did this with the LinkedIn thing not so long ago.
Yeah. So I haven't actually updated Meet Alfred with those mailers, but it was really amazing to see. So what Renato is talking about is he sent me a thing of prompts. So it started off with you create this avatar of like, I have a corporate massage company, so it's like you are an expert in corporate massage and wellness, and then the next thing was you are an HR manager looking for wellness services, and create that persona, and then it brought it up, and it was fascinating. So it was a 34-year-old woman, and it had like all of these interests, and it was like very, I mean, obviously my clients differ, but it was like very good. And then it put together a mailer sequence, and then it said, now criticize that mailer sequence as that person and implement those changes. And it just improved the whole sequence completely. Made it more personal. Yeah. It was just, really really good. So I need to test it still. I actually want to test it with the CSV import.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know. And then obviously once you've created all this stuff and you've implemented your plan, your marketing plan, track it. What worked, what doesn't work. You know, track your results. How many people clicked, how many people opened, and feed that data back into an AI system and let it come back to you and say, you should try this wording, do this a bit differently, change these colors, whatever it is. So gather your data, focus on the value that you're going to offer your customer or that persona, and track your results. Send the right messages out. Does that make sense? If I had to give you an exercise now, would you be able to?
What is the best way to get the data? Customer data?
I will touch on it in a little bit, but so if you've got a website and you've got a shop in your website, that data is in the background. So if you're using a Shopify, for example, it collects the data for you anyway. It tells you who your people are, who your customers are, when they last bought, whatever details you tell it to capture, it will capture and put it into a table or database. WooCommerce is much the same. Most of these other PrestaShops, they will gather this information. So that's your data. Then you've got things like Google Analytics, which you plug into the back of your website, for example, and you can track it. Social media have also got their own analytics, so you can see where people have clicked on your posts, how old they are. It picks up all their demographics, where they're based, who liked it, who didn't like it. So that data is available online on all social platforms as well as your websites. So, and you can extract that data and feed that into an AI tool and say, help me create the following. What is this? Okay. And now it's basically using AI as a win-win situation. It gives you back time. It allows you to speak to your customers in the tone of voice, with the right message at the right time, and create messaging per persona, which is you want to speak to each person individually, each client individually. I mean, the simplest thing you can do is if you send out an email, I don't know if anybody used a tool like MailChimp, you can tell MailChimp to go, dear person, so it can say, dear Renato, here's my newsletter. Or, you know, that's personalized. People like to see that. If their name is put in, it means that mail's directed at me. And then with the data that you've got, like if you've got a shop, you know, you kind of see what they buy generally. You can then put in product specifics and say, you know, you bought this blue t-shirt last month. Have you thought about a black pair of jeans to go with it, or these, whatever, sneakers or shoes? You know, you can, as part of your newsletter. So personalize it. Speak to the people directly. Makes sense. I think now we have an activity. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You want to play with? You want to play with? No. You don't want to play with? No. So should we do 2? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 groups. So what I've got here is an activity. I'm just going to hand them out. So it's got a target audience, and it tells you like this one is fitness enthusiasts, they're aged 30 to 50 years old. And it gives you a scenario, and then there's a brainstorming prompt. Pick any one of the, this one doesn't work out very well. Pick any one of the prompts, and you know, put your heads together as two of you at a time, and come up with some ideas on how you're going to talk to these people on the page. And then we can talk about it afterwards. And then I can give you some ideas on how to get it further. Right. All right. I think this one's top version.
Thanks.
Good.
What are our groups?
I think 2.
There's 2 of me, yeah. Just give me 2 sheets.
No, one's fine. What do you know about animals? Yeah, 1, 2. Homeowners? Yeah. 3D. I've got something to say. That's fun. So, basically, I want you guys to kind of focus on these topics over here. What are their needs and interests? What data insights you're going to use to get a hold of them? What channels you're going to use? And what are your personalization tactics for each of these guys? So just pick one of the scenarios, one of the prompts.
Okay. You get tools that do. I've never actually done it.
Take that and he's doing something daily. And if I was I would go discovery objects and these are the ones that you create. Well, so just try that with the just say
Something. So you send to the AI, you say, be this person, and then it acts like a person. And then gives you information based on
No,
So I wanted to do that, so so I can do my complaints.
Well, you want AI
Like I've done yeah, so I'm trying to do it on check those
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just like, before it needs yeah, no, yeah, no, as I said, I'm embarrassed to say that an example. I took
you would basically
So when I was creating this, I'm looking at what it's creating. Oh, really? It's actually nice when you ask for something and you answer it, you would give it as well. It's quite nice. So, some teachers are so if I go my class today, my class graduates all got mixed class, all got sheets, science, science, all their science
Can you say what is the house that was used from
That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to talk to my friend.
social media to say, have you had yeah, I haven't had your weight on today. And this is what it's
So no, so what you're saying is, how can the you talking about so if you check
then you elaborate. So you break it down into the different, so you have programs.
you ask a question, how many information you give it. So basically what we're trying to achieve is how can we do our part to reach this with this
Access with nutritional tips.
So your sanitation will be the breathing, tough, small medium.
So apart from this,
And then how do you evolve your product so you can create a result for you? Just get through it for how you produce it. Yeah, so is it?
our email,
How do you have that? You should have that. Yes. You can, you don't necessarily have. So the data means you really got school, you really got website, you really got school, you really got content, you really got inspiring. The data means you really got these guys are one of the recommendations that I use to Twitter. And these guys buy. Reaching out to pet owners. Yes.
That's what do
I mean, you can do this like, you know,
I find on the data that she's collaborating. Even if I'm working on food.
one
if you don't, so you don't say,
Tuesday, so down here is lots of it's good. My interest is in so then he's going to find you see, so then the machine learns, keeps that and then as it's that definition and that's how it is. Finish line okay, we know that this works, so are you doing this? Suggested so that's what you do. And then, so that's what I'm just thinking, what I'm just explaining. So it would actually be very much the same. So an abattoir is, it's like a systematic. So that, so in my case, what is this? And then I said to them, So it wouldn't be able to do that. It's not exact. It's not secondary test. And it wouldn't even be able to give you a so that's actually be really good. Use my method like this reality world they and then they you can't assume that to reach into this yes, exactly. So the benefit there is that we're already about culture. So what do you do? And that are open to this. I think it's really interesting to see a couple of wellness day providers. They're really yeah, so it's really you actually talk to them.
But the content of it is, if you understand, if you've got a basic description of the church, so it's a bit more big on big things.
So then you can just sort of legendary and
You give it but then
Just, yeah, you're basically
I'm not.
specific if you speak to one person, like say something that I don't know, and I'm looking Then you look at the page, and then you get each one of those. Takes a lot of time. Let's talk about So you're gonna hop around.
So we've got, our responses are
So how did it go? Someone talk about it, some didn't? Understand it? Make sense? So you guys had animals, right? Foodies. Okay, so I took this first bit of information before you reported it. So I took the first 3 lines of the foodies scenario and stuck it into one of these AI tools and asked it to create a video. I don't know if you're going to hear it.
which AI tool, Renato?
You'll see now. Stop jumping the gun. So this is about 3Ds. This is a 3Ds app. Let me see if we can going. Let's see if you can hear it.
Thrives on convenience and personalization. You need to see how AI is revolutionizing the
Funny.
user experience. On the left,
Funny.
you assistant craving satisfaction. The foodie app. It doesn't just know your favorite dishes. It learns what tickles your taste buds. What's a vegetarian Thai curry? Bam! Recommendations personalized just for you, based on your past orders and dietary preferences. Now, swing right to the restaurant quality side. Here, every bite takes you closer to rewards you can't resist. Love that burger last week? How about an appetizer on the house next time? With AI, your loyalty tastes sweeter than ever. So why wait? Let AI make your food orders smarter and oh so sweeter.
That took literally 5 minutes.
But then, so did you see there where it was talking about vegetarians and
Yeah, so
about
we-
bacon?
I did see
So
that.
I mean, that's where I think that the robot gets it wrong sometimes.
Yeah, it does. But that's the thing, right? So I think on the next few slides we're going to talk exactly about that. You've got to double check. I mean, as I was saying to the ladies
Is
in
that
the
what
back
it's called? In video AI?
yes. So the hands up, that all this information.
It's free, Renato.
Yes, this is free. You got 5 a year, 5 months at least you should do.
But you have to buy it to take away stuff you need.
Yes, yes. So there's a fee, I don't know. I can't remember what the fees
So
were.
you can't put your own images in, you have to buy some.
Depends which one you use. Some of them you can put your own stuff in, some of them provide stock, like this provided the stock. And if you want to get rid of those logos that you saw there, you pay a fee for that. Yeah. So, to your point about the bacon, AI is great to do, it does a lot of things for us. It can help us do a lot of things, but you've got to double check it. As you said earlier, it spat out some stuff, ask it to check itself. And if you're using ChatGPT and say, I want to write a blog about XYZ, and it spits something out, go to Gemini and say, please double check this. I want it to be personalized for these kind of
What is
people.
Gemini?
Gemini is Google's version of ChatGPT. Gemini or Bard.
Gemini's had a lot of flack.
No, ChatGPT.
Have they?
Yeah. They had a bit of a wobble, not so long ago. Big one.
Big one, yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, like I said, that video took me 5 minutes. I copied what was on that sheet, I pasted it in there and said, I didn't say anything else. This is what it said. So this is about, it's talking to foodies, it's the audience is passionate about exploring new cuisine, restaurants, and food trends. They are active on social media and use food delivery apps. The brainstorming prompts are, how can food delivery app leverage AI to personalize meal recommendations based on the user's dietary preference, past orders, and current location? And that's what came up with.
Sure. Let's have a look in here, if you don't mind.
Sure.
No, we know what you put in.
It's if it,
In this case, what you put in is not what you get.
yeah, true. I mean, I didn't tweak it, right?
Get bacon out.
I'm sure once you correct
Yeah,
it.
Just to make it kosher.
Thrives on convenience and personalization. But you need to see how AI is revolutionizing your dining experience. On the left, meet your new assistant in craving satisfaction, the foodie app. It doesn't just know your favorite dishes, it learns what tickles your taste buds. Want a vegetarian Thai curry? Bam! Recommendations personalized based on your past interests and dietary preferences. Now, swing right to the restaurant loyalty side. Here, every bite takes you closer to rewards you can't resist. Love that burger last week? How about an appetizer on the house next time? With AI, your kids taste sweeter. So why wait? Let AI make your food orders smarter and oh so sweeter.
Okay, so on the comments that came out of that, let's talk about. Okay, I'm going to skip through this. So basically, what this slide is saying is 80% of customers that have been introduced to AI through advertising or marketing has shown like positive reaction. So there's been positive feedback, better click-through rates, better response, more likes on the image or the post that you put out. People are clicking links in your emails, that kind of thing. What I want to get to is, one last thing. So here's some of the tools. And some of them are free. So, okay, this has changed. It's no longer Bard, it's Gemini. But, for chatbots, you put something on your website.
Can we have the printout of it?
Sorry?
Can we have the
Yes.
printout?
I'm going to send it to everyone tomorrow in your email. Thank you. All the handouts and the slide.
So the presentation is going to go up, but there's also another handout that's kind of digs into the Poppy Act. There's a list of other apps that are free, like Google Analytics, ChatGPT, all that kind of stuff, and how to use them. And there's links and things that will take you to different places to do different things. So as you can see here, for design, there's applications you can use. These are free. Adobe Firefly is free. It's on your phone. Unfortunately, you can't use it. You can use it on a PC, but it's better on your phone. CapCut is what a lot of TikTokers are using these days to create their videos. So, anything. You're talking about presentations. Tone, Doctopus, Gamma, help you with your presentations.
What one did you say?
Doctopus. Doctopus. He's not mine. I just found these.
Dectopus.
Dector.
Decto, like
Looks
a
like a
slide deck.
You're probably right. I just want to see. So, there's an AI something or other to help you with email marketing, putting out the right messages at the right time. Social media listening tools, you know what that is? You listen to what people are saying about your brand.
So where do you find them? The listening tools.
And there's lots of most of them you got to pay for.
Yeah.
And some of them you get plug into the back of your website, so you get like plugins that's more on your website. Then there's social media stuff that listens out for hashtags or your company
We were
name.
having a discussion about
We were talking about the exact thing, where you can say you're shopping on Temu or whatever, and then you're like talking about it to someone, and the next thing, all these like
So that's
products
different.
that you were.
That's different. So that is Facebook listening to you on your phone.
And
So
But
then,
Google is
a
different.
social media listening tool would be, for example, someone posts in a Facebook group looking for somewhere not too far from Johannesburg for a family of 4. And the listening tool would pick that up. But would it pick it up without a hashtag, or would it have to have a
So
hashtag?
here's an example. Many years ago, I used to work at BMW, another round building in Midrand, and there was a very unhappy customer that branded his car with all the crap that he was having with BMW and stuck it on the highway. Okay, so the example I'm trying to use here is people that drove past it to see, engine light on, pulling to the left, whatever it was, it's smoking, but it was all branded on the car. I saw Ford, somebody did it with a Ford Bucky recently, somewhere in Santon recently as well.
There's a Soul C one like that as well.
Yeah, so on Twitter, some people are going to say, I had such a bad experience in MGM last night, so I had a bad experience with SARS. So the listening tool will pick that up and feed that information back to you, like, what are the good things that have been said, what are the bad things that have been said. And to get that as a service, it is very expensive. Very, very expensive. And we offer it. I think we were, what was it? What's that little bank?
But it can give you your customers pain points.
It can. Yeah, no, it can, absolutely. So,
that's
Letsatsi, yeah. We offered this to Letsatsi, I think it was like 120,000 a month to do this exercise. With AI now, I mean, that value is less than half. It's a percentage of the price. So,
And for what period of time do you listen or do?
well, that depends. It depends. So generally, these kind of tools happen. You use them when you're launching something. You just run some sort of competition, new products. There's an event that you're having or just had. Those are kind of like the best time to use it. You don't want to use it all the time because you kind of
So what is an example of a listening? I can't see.
listening. I don't have a listening on here. I've got in. Wait, is no, there isn't. Not on here, but in the handout there is some stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm totally unfamiliar with this, so excuse this question if it's stupid.
No, no.
Where do you launch these things?
What do you do? What do you launch? Products or these tools?
Products.
So you have a website.
Yeah.
And then obviously on the website you can send it to social media, you can send it out in emails, you can run ads, pay-per-click ads, you know those?
Yeah.
So you can do a search on Google and it says sponsored, that's a pay-per-click ad. If you've ever watched YouTube, the things that pop up every minute or so, and for 15 seconds, whatever it is, you know, that kind of thing, that's how you and digitally, yes. Those are some of the elements that you use. Cool, so there's some tools. I mean, there's a lot of tools here as well. Let me see if there's anything that's editing. Use a bot? No. I don't have anything on there. For email monitoring, there's Brand 24 for media monitoring. Brand 24, yeah. Okay, so while I was walking around while you guys were working, this came up a lot. I'm sure you heard the phrase, you get what you give. What you put in is what you get out. Trap in, trap out. So that's exactly the same with AI. If you open ChatGPT, you've never used it before, you're starting a business, you just type in business plan. It'll spit out a very basic business plan. It's a starting point, but it's not your business plan. If you go to ChatGPT and say, okay, I am this kind of person, I'm opening this kind of business, this is the product I've got, explain the product. I want to go to this market, I plan to do this kind of time period. These are some of the financials I'm expecting, please help me go to business plan. It will then help create what you want, closer to what you want, rather than just business plan and spitting out a template. So what I'm trying to get across here is like understanding your audience. If you've got data, I mean, you're saying if you don't have data, you can create the data. So you've got to create your own avatar or buying persona. So if your target audience is teenagers, you create, that is your target audience, you create a persona for that. You then go to ChatGPT, for example, and say, based on my customer data, here it is, feed in your persona. What are the segments in our target audience? And it'll break it up for you. So you might be aiming at teenagers, and they'll say, well, teenagers with money are between 18 and 20 that are working, blah, 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 and spit something out. Teenagers with parents' money are this, and this is how you should talk to them. Okay, so what you put in is what you get out. So always
People
put
under
in.
the age of 80?
You can do that too. Really like people that do this.
Okay, I'll ask you a question.
Sure.
And this is true, I'm not telling you a story.
Okay.
What you can say.
I don't read the newspaper. I've never had a television. I've not on any of these Facebook things. None of them.
And children.
7.
Okay.
So how do you get through to somebody like me?
You get mail. You post.
No, not really. Nobody's seen the post.
Not at all.
It may be the medical aid, I should say.
You drive a car.
Have a coin.
You drive a car.
Yes.
You've seen all the billboards all around.
So how do you know what to buy?
And then when you walk into a shop, advertising is plastered all over the place. That's old school. Yeah,
But you can use email a lot and WhatsApp.
so there we go. People use WhatsApp groups to talk about products and
I'm
businesses.
not in any of these groups, not one.
What was it about? We should invite you.
No, I was on one or two.
What's your email address?
No, what's your
They they talk rubbish, these email groups.
Yes.
This is what we're talking about today, is targeting, personalizing the emails to reach you and make you read.
If I see an email that I don't recognize the mail, I delete.
But if it says to you, listen, I'm going to give you something for free, if you read this.
No, I delete.
I'm going to pay for your retirement.
I delete.
We
If I
ran it
don't
through
recognize the
the
name, I delete.
Run it to the wife.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That's
There's your
the
answer.
target. What's that?
Your wife's the
With the
target.
wife. She'll get what it- She's doing all the shopping.
I do all the shopping, I go to the shops every day.
So,
And I choose what I
How do you know what
I-
specialist?
so on the shelf,
What
there are
is
shelf
this?
talkers and everywhere in the supermarket, there's advertising on some level to entice you
I
to
go
buy
in
it.
with a list and I never buy anything that's
But
not.
how
Do you have a smart shopper card?
Yes.
They're collecting all your
And
data.
the minute I get something from Pick and Pay, which I get quite often, I don't read it, I delete.
What if you're missing out? What if they're like, thank you for your loyalty, here's 50% off your next grocery shop?
I get such things, I delete them.
He doesn't like his money. He likes giving it away. It's like, you use something.
And why do you go
See,
to
I
Pick
use
and
my
Pay?
shop.
Why do you go to Pick and Pay and not Spar Woolies?
And I mainly go to Woolworths.
Oh, you mainly go to Woolworths.
And maybe.
Okay.
I
Do you have a Willy's card?
My Woolies card, yes.
Do you have the app on your phone?
No. And then, yes.
You know that app on the phone gives discounts every day. 10% charge, 20% charge, 20% off.
I go into the shop, I look at what they've got, and I buy what I want. I'm not interested in their suggestions.
Are you brand or price sensitive? Do you go for like specific Colgate toothpaste or would you take the cheapest
I'm a
option?
dentist by profession, so.
Cool, so we move on. So I'm talking
How
about
did you know that?
that was a lucky guess.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, there we go. So we're talking about prompts again for, I'm going to cross each of those the areas. So the first one was, this is content personalization. So, if you want to send out a monthly emailer and you're not too sure what to say, AI, tell it what you want. Why you want to communicate to customers. Is it the month of love? Is it Halloween? Whatever it is, please help me create the right subject line and so on. So I think what I'm trying to say here is, again, what you put in is what you get out. You got to feed it, and you got to keep feeding it. The process she was talking about earlier was, she went to AI and said, I am this. I want to find a customer, and I sell the following products. It then created the next step was, I am now the customer, and this is the persona that I want to attract to my store. I want to talk to them. I want to send them 5 emails. What you then did with ChatGPT was go back and say, as the customer avatar, please review my emails. What do you think of it? Please give me feedback, criticize it, whatever else. And instead of getting, and from your generic email that you originally created, your persona, the buyer persona that you created will come back and say, the flow is nice, it's easy to read, but I don't like this. This will be more impactful if you added this, whatever. And you tell ChatGPT, make the changes. Then you've got, when ChatGPT first came out and we were creating blogs for our website, I'd say, please write me a 200-word whatever on whatever subject. And it printed it out. I thought, "Fuck, this is amazing. This is my language." And I thought, let me post this. A couple of days later, I took that blog and I pasted it into Google search, and I found 100 other blogs with exactly the same word. So,
But you can do checks for plagiarism. You can
Absolutely.
say,
Yes.
please check for
Yes.
plagiarism, please correct grammar,
absolutely,
please target it to make it feel like
exactly,
me.
Friendly.
exactly.
I think for me, so now I've been following this, so Renata got me onto a program called Me to Offer It. It's like an automated lead gen tool and uses various platforms. I'm using LinkedIn with it, and I'm reaching my limits on LinkedIn, by the way. But I think what I'm struggling with is when you've had this whole automated thing, how to then turn that into human interaction. Like, what is the approach?
I think the approach that I gave you was, you've got the reach out on LinkedIn, like you tell the tool, listen, I want to go and I want to speak to CEOs in this segment or sector. That thing creates a knock knock, hello, I want to be your friend, and if we become friends, here's a little bit of here's a carrot. Whatever that carrot is, it could be like a blog, a bit of information about what you do and how to benefit them. And when they connect this, it says, cool, here's the blog, and you give it to them. The next 5 emails you send along are not salesy, they're more information driven, specific, not even value. It's just like, exactly, building trust. By the time they've read all those emails, that's 3 months down the line, all those people that have clicked every single email and clicked on the link and gone and read your blog, they're a warm lead. You can pick up the phone and say, thanks for reading my emails, how can I help you? Not, I sell, blah, 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 and introduce yourself. You don't need to do that, you've done it. So the next step is the human. Pick up the phone and say,
So Meet Offer can't tell you if they click, it will only tell you if they've opened.
so it doesn't tell you the link clicked, and you're not put a weighting or a point on it. So if they click the link,
Maybe, I'll try that.
Does it give you the reaction?
no, it's email. The reaction is click. No. They can respond to the email, the email will come back to you.
Yeah, it's automatically. Like the,
No, this is email, this is not social media. But, so what we've done with that thing is we've reached out on social media to say, hi, I can help you. And when they say, okay, let's connect, they're giving you access to the data. So there's an email address, there's a phone number, there's the business that they work for, gives you their, what their life plan is and whatever else, and you can use that information.
But that's on LinkedIn.
That's on it.
That's on.
Yeah. But
The
that's,
challenge I'm facing with B2B relationships from Meet Offer and LinkedIn is that a lot of people have their Gmail on LinkedIn as their login. It's not necessarily their business. So I've even contacted those who have noticed that. Like, would you prefer if I was to use your business address? Because I would prefer to have your business address.
And?
No, they haven't been very receptive. No, this is fine. Okay.
But Dinesh, remember, people change jobs often, so it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense for me to use a specific work email.
but you
But
can
then
put the
it's
name.
I'm talking to you about HR.
But if you have generic, if you know that it's surname.name at whatever company, then it should pretty much be the
Sure.
same for everyone,
Yeah. If that's the
if
company.
that's the company.
So I just want to say though, that what Meet Alfred did for me as a business owner is I've got 3 branches in my business and I've struggled to get my Durban branch going. I've had many challenges along the way and it's been hard. But I then got to a place where I thought maybe there's just no business there. Maybe I need to just give up. Know when to walk away and know when to say no, but it's time. Maybe there's no business there. To put Meet Alfred on, and within 24 hours, I was nurturing 850 HR managers in Durban alone.
Wow.
So then it's like, oh, actually there is business there. Like, don't let those excuses get to you until you've used technology to check.
But you have to know what technology to use.
Yeah, exactly, you do. And I think that, like with AI, there are so many different ones.
Again, you've got to look, like if you're not sure about the AI thing, social media, YouTube, TikTok, yeah, exactly. Like, what are the people saying about ChatGPT? What are they saying about Gemini? What are they saying about any of these products? A lot of them have Trustpilot. You know Trustpilot? It's a place where people go and say, I like this, there's 5 stars. Yeah, kind of, just a lot better.
Can you talk about prompts and how to give correct information into the AI to get?
That's what we're talking about, yeah. So,
Like give examples, like proper.
So I'll get back to this conversation. So how we started was, I've got some massage VR business, right?
Yeah.
And I'm based in Durban, and I offer the following services. And so that's the prompt. You don't have to give it any more information. You'll come back and you potentially ask you a question. The next thing you're going to say is, my customers are the following kind of people. I'm trying to reach HR managers or HR directors or anybody in
The
HR.
next prompt was, now you are an HR manager.
Yep.
In the area.
So now you've created 2 profiles.
Yeah.
So one is your customer and one is you.
Yeah.
Then you tell ChatGPT, whatever it is, AI, listen, I need to reach out to these people doing the following. And in her case it was, I need to reach out to them on LinkedIn to connect, and I want to offer them a little, whatever, something for free. I want you to respond to their connection. Thank you for connecting. And then I want to send 5 emails. And the following, I want you to create those 5 emails and that connection message for me. So now you've got the 2 and you've got the request. It then creates what you've asked for, and you say, as the customer, please review what you've just created, and comment and criticize and critique and give me all kinds of feedback. When it comes back, it'll give you a whole list of things about what it's created, and then you tell it, make the changes.
Pros and cons of it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. And then what it spits out after you've said, make those changes is what you can use. And it's yours. It's not generic. It's very specific to what you've created. There's nobody else out there that has created the same stuff. Make sense?
So for me personally with AI, I don't like the repetition. It has a lot of repetition. If you say, please write something, it will repeat it at least 3 or 4 times. How do you eliminate, how do you essentially tell it to stop repeating itself? Or remove, do you just say, please remove repetition? Or
So how do you mean repetition? So when you tell it to do something, it does something, and then you ask it to make a change, it does the same thing again?
So if you ask it to write something, it will say, the sky is blue, the sky is violet with.
Oh, that's having an hallucination.
So
That's what it's called.
it repeats the subject many times in a different way. It's not only
Okay.
word,
Okay.
like ad nauseum sometimes.
So, I mean, you could, once it's created it, you can go back and say, listen, I don't like the tone, please change the tone, change, the reading is too difficult, whatever, if you want to do it on your own. But if you create a scenario for it to say, this is who I am and why I want you to create this, this is where it's going to, and then use it to double check its work. Or, if you don't want to go through all that pain, you could take what it creates and go to another AI and say, this is what I've created, please can you make it better in the following ways.
When you put in your information, it's better to put in short phrases or long sentences.
Just like you're talking to me now.
Yeah.
So it's a proper
You have a
sentence.
conversation. You can have a conversation. So like if you feel comfortable describing it like you're talking to a child, do it that way. If you want to be a little bit more, like talking to a university student, you can talk
So
about
it
it.
makes
So
the tone of what you put in.
you tell it how you want it, how you want it to come out.
Yeah.
You can ask
I told you
it,
to talk in the tone of Oren Clap.
It's
great.
I think when you want to spit out facts, it's really need to double check, always. Always. And if you want
When
to,
you put in data from like analytics,
Yeah.
so what do? You pull the analytics report and then which platform do you put it into?
so if you go to Google Analytics, for example, you can put it out in Sheets or Excel, or and you can actually take that. I don't know. I haven't succeeded on ChatGPT, but you can take that file and stick it into Gemini,
Okay.
and then tell it what you want to do with the data. So just that Excel file.
So like in other words, like extract the most popular demographic or whatever.
What do these people do? I mean, it also depends on the data that you're extracting. I mean, the data you're giving. I mean, if you've been to analytics, there's a ton of data.
Yeah.
If you want to work through that, you're going to take months of working on through hours with the data from a website. So, if you want to see have you got the right flow, so the user experience, is it correct on your website? You can feed that data and say, what do I need to change to get the person to buy quicker rather than fumbling around my website? Or if you want to track who's been visiting your website and where they've come from, you've got to choose the data that you're going to put in, and you've obviously got to ask it accordingly. Make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I can see that working really well for e-commerce. I find it difficult for DJing. Like I suppose unless I'm taking that data and using it to create a campaign on LinkedIn, for example, or ads on LinkedIn, and
You do
using
know
what I know
LinkedIn-
are my most popular website visitors, that's valuable.
But LinkedIn's got an analytics as well.
Yes.
But very basic though. It gives you region, certain
Doesn't
use
give
that,
you
right?
that much.
She's focusing on Durban. So if you're looking at a spreadsheet and there's 3,000 names in there, bar the sort function and you might miss, somebody might have put Durban in the country instead of in the town. You're going to lose that. Where if you plug it into AI, it'll come back and say you've got 3,001 people living in Durban, where you think there's 200, kind of thing, So it helps with that. It'll go through that a lot faster than you can. Awesome. Happy. Okay, so again, I'm not going to go through, we've kind of covered all the rest of it. I mean, this is all prompts that we're going to talk about here. And we've covered it. This stuff is being shared. I think I'll send you one more link that I sent to her about how to. So this prompt I got from a guy in Durban. He said he wanted to create a funnel, a lead generation funnel, using email. And the first prompt is you are XYZ. So you can take this. I'll get Tracy to send it with. Use the same process. You can change the words to be yours. But to give you a starting point on how effective the prompts can be if you use them correctly. And yes, that's a scenario where it's creating a funnel, an email funnel, but I mean, you can change that, but the steps are fundamentally the same. So tell it who you are, tell it who your customer is, tell it what you want it to do, tell it to use it, your customer to validate what you've created, make the changes, and then you've got something that's yours, it's not generic. So I'll share that as well.
Thank you.
Where are we? I think we've run out of time, so I'm just going to end off on that. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for being patient with us.
I feel like I'm a Martian just landing on Earth. How does one fill the gap
Which day?
from not knowing it to using
Play.
this?
You have to start doing
Play.
it.